Hello. So we are doing another podcast, and this is one of the people that I've been really, really excited to do. Um, this Kat, and I heard about Kat before I actually met Kat. I heard rumor of Kat's infamy before I met her, and then I was lucky enough to meet her on the internet about a year ago. So thank you ever so much for being here, Kat.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So usually we sort of start like at the beginning. So like where you were born or like what you were like prior to being vegan, whichever seems most appropriate.
Sure. Well, I was born and raised in Scotland. I was born in Greenock,
Uh-huh.
actually, and I was raised in Steps, which is like northeast of Glasgow, which is like Cumbernauld area.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm living just north of Glasgow, but my upbringing was quite like standard, I guess. Nothing like too out of the ordinary. No like drama or anything. My parents were quite like mundane. Like when I came out as trans, like my dad was supportive, even though he wouldn't like really learn. He would like kind of suggest like a trans group called the Mermaids. I don't know if that's like a English thing, but
Yeah. I've heard of mermaids.
essentially. Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Well, it's always in the
Oh,
news, right? There's always a J.K. Rowling's always attacking it, so I've heard of it. I'm not sure if anyone else has heard of it.
oh,
How?
Mermaids,
Yeah,
the group.
yeah, yeah. J.K.
Oh, I
Rowling
didn't know
famously
that.
attacked it.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, he like suggests that, and I was like, oh, thanks.
That's nice.
But yeah, he was quite supportive. Mom is a bit like bipolar, and it's
Uh-huh.
she's like supportive, but she doesn't really like talk about it. So like both of them don't really talk about it, but
Uh-huh.
like deep down they like obviously like care and supportive. So
How young are
um
we talking here, right? Because like obviously when I came out as trans, I was in my 30s,
yeah.
and it sort of
Yeah.
wildly changed my perspective on how I see the world, right? So how young are we talking? When did you know? When did you come out?
Um I came out around like 15, I think, to my dad, and I
Wow.
was like, yeah, I think I was like, oh, for my 16th birthday, can we go to Sandyford, which is like a gender clinic here in
Oh.
Glasgow.
Uh-huh.
I really wanted that, but it never like the waiting list was like far too long, and
Yeah.
I still had to wait for like half a year or something until I could get my first appointment.
Okay.
So
I
yeah, okay,
presume at this
yeah, sorry.
point you were still big carnist, or you vegetarian. How did you?
Yeah, so at this point I was non-vegan. I didn't really think much about it, and I when I was younger I went to this
Uh-huh.
like Buddhist like church, not obviously not church, a Buddhist like temple thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, like I think it was like south side of Glasgow, and they would eat like obviously like vegetarian stuff. Because yeah, they were like it was like a Buddhist um like spiritual place. And I would always be like, oh, where's the meat and stuff. Uh, yeah, like
Uh-huh.
obviously it's quite bad. Yeah, but like I did like the stuff that they made. I liked the mock meats especially.
Uh-huh.
Like it was really nice. So I'm really a big fan of mock meats, and I know some like vegans don't touch that kind of stuff because it reminds me of reminds them of like dead animals. But yeah, I really like mock meats myself.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so and then I kind of like I was like, okay, I might try go vegetarian, but it didn't really last long. It was just
What age
like
is
a
this?
whim.
What age were we talking?
This was, I don't know, like just teenager. Like,
Oh.
I think it was when I was like 13 or like 12
Okay.
or like
Okay.
no, very young. Yeah, I was
Uh-huh.
like, oh, I'm just gonna try it. And then I bought these like veggie burgers, and they weren't very nice. They're just like very like
Beans?
standard like
Are they like bean
veggie burgers.
burgers or like the vegetable one?
Oh, just like vegetables. Yeah, yeah. It
Okay.
wasn't mock meat or
Okay.
anything. It was just like vegetables, like carrots, peas, and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, it's just like vegetables.
Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, they were nice on its own. I wouldn't call them burgers. They were like vegetable patties. But
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. And then I kind of like fell back on that, and I was like, and I said to my friend, I remember he was like, "Why did you go back to not being vegetarian?"
Uh-huh.
Um, And I was like, oh, well, like lions kill other animals, and like, you know, and then yeah, obviously looking back, I was like, yeah, that was like there was like counter arguments to
I
that.
mean, you were a child.
Um,
Was this friend that you were talking to a vegetarian, or were they just were they a
um,
non-vegetarian?
sorry, what did you say?
The friend who asked you why you stopped being
Yeah.
vegetarian, were they vegetarian or were they?
Well, I think they were raised in like a vegetarian household.
Uh-huh.
I think because a lot of like these Chinese like Buddhist families, yeah, just like cook like vegetarian meals.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think they would like. I don't think it's very common to like, kind of like
Classify as that.
force. Hmm.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Go on. Sorry, go on. I interrupted.
No, it's okay. Well, yeah, I'm not sure, but like I think he was just curious or asking me.
Okay.
But yeah, it was very like vegetarian kind of um like vibes in that community.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So when did
but yeah, that
you?
was it. Yeah.
So when did you sort of finally like start making the second attempt then?
What to vegan
Yeah.
like to
Well.
now?
Yeah. Yeah. So did you go straight vegan the second time?
Yeah. So I went vegan 2020 September
Okay.
after a Cosmic Skeptic video actually, which is kind of funny. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Did I tell you this? Did you know this?
I have another friend who I've already interviewed who went vegan for the same reasons. So
Yeah, so the
yeah.
video was called Why It's Time to Go Vegan,
Uh-huh.
and it just made sense. Watched it, like my vegetarian friend
Uh-huh.
sent it to me. I was like, "Why are you vegetarian?" And he sent it to me.
Uh-huh.
I watched it, and I was like, "Shit, okay, I might actually go vegan."
Uh-huh.
Um, and then I literally like went back to him, like, "So why are you not vegan?" And I was like trying to get him to go vegan, vegetarian.
Did it work?
No, I think I don't know. I don't really keep in touch with him. He's like
Uh-huh.
an old uni friend.
Okay. So we've had this a
Um,
bunch of times that someone who made you go vegan is someone you've not like spoken to. Like it's a quite a common thing apparently. Have you ever just considered sending them
hmm.
a message saying, "By the way, I'm still vegan because of you. Merry Christmas."
I might check up on him and be like, have you given up cheese yet?
Right?
But yeah,
So
and
you weren't a long time Cosmic Skeptic fan then prior?
yeah, sort of. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
watched that video and then I just watched his other videos,
Oh, okay.
and then I watched his like kind of religious videos, and I was like, whoa, this guy's kind of cool and smart. You know, he goes to Oxford and stuff.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Um, yeah, so I was a sort of fan of his, and then I remember seeing him at Vegan Camp Out back in like 2021, I think it was.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but like I just had another point. Like I wasn't really a big meat eater before I was vegan because obviously like in Asian households there's a lot of vegetables that are cooked.
Hmm.
Um,
A lot of tofu
like
as well,
bok
I would
choy.
imagine, right?
Yeah, tofu. Yeah, exactly. So like tofu, bok choy. These like leafy greens. Yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, I always like ate vegetables throughout my life, and so it wasn't really that hard for me, especially because yeah, I was quite used to like just eating that kind of stuff. Anyways, so I just had to like. I remember before I went vegan,
Hmm.
I was trying to. I saw like a diet that would make you more feminine, if that makes sense, like almost like a trans diet
Uh-huh.
or like a trans boosting diet. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
And it told you to cut out like all red meat because there's a lot of like um obviously like chemicals and shit, but like more um like testosterone, I think,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
in like flesh,
Uh-huh. This is
which kind of
not
makes sense.
this is not dietary advice, by the way. For any trans men out there, please don't start eating red meat.
Yeah, this is not, it was, yeah, it was not, it was probably like scientifically researched. It was just like literally like an image and like a fucking, yeah, it was literally just like an image, like an infographic, like a very cheap infographic made by some rando.
Uh-huh.
Um, Yeah, so I just looked at that and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give this a shot. Obviously, I wanted to be as femme as possible and
Uh-huh.
as passable as possible. So I was just like, okay. So I cut out red meat as much as possible then. And then I think it talked about dairy, but I wasn't sure. So before I went vegan, I was already trying to minimize my red meat consumption. And then I watched that video and I was like, okay, I'll just go vegan. Fuck it. Um,
And did you do it overnight? Like, was it literally watch the video?
yeah, like a week or something. Yeah, I still had leftover dairy, I think,
Uh-huh.
or something like that. But and I felt really guilty as well during that week. I remember I was like, oh shit, I should really just go vegan, cold turkey right now. But yeah, it took me a week to just kind of
Uh-huh.
adjust, I suppose. And then after that, I watched a lot of Earthling Eds
Uh-huh.
and Joey, and I really fell in love with his style. Everyone said he was really, really I don't know,
Antagonistic.
mean,
Yeah, yeah,
antagonistic, yeah, and just aggressive and shit like this. And I was just like, I don't see that at all. I feel he's quite a softie. Maybe it was just cupcake vegans or just people
yeah.
not wanting to hear yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was a weird time. And then I remember getting onto a lot of YouTube debates in the comments of these
Uh-huh.
videos,
Uh-huh.
and I would just spend so much time just commenting and literally a long thread of
With
I don't know,
vegans or
30
with
comments.
non-vegans? Or both?
Mainly non-vegans, yeah, or
Okay.
yeah, but I was about to say sometimes they would pink me vegans. It's I'm not a part, I don't support this kind of stuff. I'm just bro. um but yeah, so it was fun times,
Is that
and
your
I was still
first?
working.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, sorry.
No, no, go on. You still working?
No, I was just about to say I was still working at the Chinese restaurant when I went vegan, and I was having a lot of moral
Uh-huh.
ambiguity of being there, and I was every time I would take orders, and then they would say beef curry, and I would say no, it's a cow curry,
Yeah.
and then I would just get in trouble. So yeah,
Activism at
there you
work,
go.
not the safest thing to do.
Yeah,
Unless you want to
yeah,
be
no.
fired, then. Um,
Yeah, I sort of, yeah, obviously this, I enjoy this. And then I was really angry at the time. I remember when I first went vegan, I was just I want to do everything. And then I remember stumbling onto Animal Rebellion's video of I don't know where it was, Instagram or Facebook or YouTube.
uh-huh.
Or maybe I think it was oh, I do remember it was fuck, what's his name again? Not the grumpy vegan, but
Grumpy Vegan Grandad?
no, not him.
Ah,
Um, Jake Conroy. What's his channel name called again?
I don't know. I can Google it now.
Ah, fuck. That's so annoying. It'll come back to me. Um, Cranky Vegan. There
Cranky
it is.
Vegan. Yeah, I just found it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Cranky
Yeah,
Vegan.
Cranky Vegan. Yeah, so I think he was talking about Animal Rebellion, McDonald's blockades,
Hmm.
and I was just sitting there thinking wow, this is so cool. I wish I was there.
I
I really wish I was there.
so
Yeah,
I
what do you
I
think?
have a bunch of questions first before we get onto that. So
Yeah, sure.
you went vegan. Were you living at home when you went vegan, or were you studying? Were you away from home?
Yeah, I've always lived at home,
Okay.
even when I went to uni. Just
So
stayed at home.
how did it? Because you lived in a house that mostly ate sort of vegetarian based food anyway, and probably rarely ate animal products. But how was it received living at home, going vegan? Was it like this
Um,
is fine or?
yeah, it's a good question. Well, obviously, as I said, I was really angry,
Uh-huh.
and I would usually at that time pester every time they were cooking me. I was like, that's dead animals, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And then they would just get annoyed at me, and I remember I would get into arguments with my dad and my brother.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, it's not worth it, to be honest. Now that I'm more matured, in the sense of like activism and age, like I can turn other people vegan that are more receptive,
Yeah.
faster. That I can turn, like my parents, and my brother's quite receptive. Like I've shown him part of Dominion, and he kind of agrees. I've shown him like Game Changers. I've shown him like a bit of Earthling Ed. And he said he literally like went. He's in Hong Kong right now, but he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, when I come back, I'm gonna do like a tofu, like vegetable. Like, let me pull out the mess."
No.
He's like, I'm gonna do like, I'm gonna eat like more tofu.
Uh-huh.
Um, 1 second. He said, "I want to change my diet to seaweed, soy, vegetables, and minimal rice." It's like,
Oh.
what the fuck? And I did also say when he was like cooking for himself, I'm like, you have the like free will to like cook whatever you want now. And you like cook vegan stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a shot. And that was really good. Like, and he does try some of my stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Boop. We've swapped devices so that hopefully we won't have any more audio issues. So
Hello.
what was the last ingredient? Minimal.
Yeah. So he said, he's in Hong Kong right now, and he's like visited Japan, and maybe he's like had some like I don't know reasoning, like but he said I want to change my diet to seaweed, soy, vegetables, and minimal rice. I was just like, where did this come from?
Oh.
um, but obviously, like, I don't agree with the minimal rice, obviously, because I think carbs are fine. But he's like he goes to the gym a lot, and he's like he works out, and he wants to um, like,
Buff. He wants to. He wants to
yeah,
buff.
exactly. So maybe like that's the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, um, I'm like, okay, why? He's like, do you want to join me? I'm like, yeah, sure, lol. He's like, because I like eating those things and they're healthy, and I'm like, yeah, they are. I literally tried telling you plants are healthy so many times. But yeah, he's quite like fun and receptive. We get along. I'm probably like in my like related family.
Mhm.
Probably most close with my brother. Like he does get me a lot.
That's really cool. So, right, I gotta ask a slightly yikesy questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Were the family
Um,
more confused by trans or vegan?
that is a good question. To be fair, that's a good question. Uh, I have to think about this a little bit. I would like to say
Uh-huh.
vegan. Not gonna lie.
It is weird, right? Like people don't
Yeah.
expect that. I
Is
mean,
that like a common response?
I think yeah, because I think like you being trans doesn't really make them have to change what they do very much. And
Yeah, exactly.
they just have to get your pronouns correct, right? And maybe
Yeah.
change the name they call you. But when you're like, I'm vegan, you abuse animals, they're like, whoa, hold on
Yeah.
there. What
Yeah,
do you
and
mean?
I do remember my dad's saying one time, he was like, "Well, I'm gonna have to cook like a separate thing for you," and like he's just like making a big deal out of it, and I was just like, "Jesus, chill! It's just like, it's just like vegetables. Like, it's not that deep."
Yeah.
But I definitely would say vegan.
Uh-huh.
They were very like when it came out of trans. I remember my dad was just very like expressionless, and he was just like, okay, sure. And he like sat me and my brother down, and he's like, okay, well, like things happen in his life, and we got like support each other
Oh.
and stuff like that. He was like really supportive. Yeah. So, and then when I went vegan, I remember we had a lot of arguments. I don't think we ever had a lot of arguments when I went as trans. So yeah.
We didn't have that. We didn't sit down and be like, okay, guys, we support each other in our ethical decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Yeah,
conversation
it's
never
quite
happened.
funny.
Right. So the
But
reason I sort of rolled you back a bit because you were talking about animal rising is
uh-huh.
you've gone vegan. You live inside a non-vegan household. Presumably, you don't have many vegan friends.
I don't have a lot of vegan friends. He said.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Do you?
mm,
Did
I
you?
do, I do.
Oh, okay.
I
I mean,
mainly just hang out. Yes.
I mean,
Sorry.
at the time.
Okay, at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. At
yeah.
the time, yeah, I was at uni. I had uni friends. I kind of like like drifted apart with my old high school friends.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And you're like typing away
yeah,
on YouTube videos, like shouting
yeah,
out on
exactly. It was
vegans.
very like a very lonely, dark kind of like baby vegan time that I had.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of slowly like lost all my friends because I was just like spouting all this like vegan propaganda, as they would call it.
Yeah, yeah. You're trying to outreach
Um,
everyone to be vegan,
exactly,
and you're not
exactly. I
stopping.
was angry. I was motivated to help the animals.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to do everything in my power.
Mhm.
I was just like, why did I never like hear of this
Uh-huh.
stuff before about animal agriculture?
Uh-huh.
Why did I not learn about it before? Like, where is it?
Uh-huh.
So I just wanted to like educate others the way that I've just had been. It
Yeah.
was just like an opening.
Okay, and
Um,
is that when you stumbled on Animal Rising stuff then? Is that why you wanted to be there, do you think? Or was it just
uh, yeah, I think it was to just have like other like-minded people
Mhm.
to like be around and like that sense of community and finding your tribe.
Mhm. And
Because at the end of the day, we're like social creatures and we like enjoy
uh,
the company of people that are like similar to us. Um,
and do you remember your first event? Do you remember going? Like what was it and how did you
yeah.
find out about it and like what were your
So yeah.
expectations?
So I went vegan 2020 September, and
Uh-huh.
then like I figured vegan camp out like shortly after, and I was just like learning all this stuff.
Mhm.
So I went to vegan camp out in 2021 in
Wow.
summertime,
Uh-huh. Alone?
and well, with actually I met like a vegan friend at the start of 2021
Okay.
at my uni. We
Mhm.
had like I wanted to start my start back up the vegan uni like society.
Uh-huh.
Um, and there was like only like 4 people. It was very small.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I'm still friends with like 2 of them, and yeah, I went down with JJ, my mum, and like her friend,
Okay.
and yeah, and I remember seeing that there was like a 2 weeks of action kind of thing, and there was a coach going from vegan camp out to London,
Wow.
and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely, I really want to do that.
So you just didn't
Um,
go home with mum. You just you just
yeah,
you
I
just
just
went up
came down and then I just like stayed there. It was really scary at first, not gonna lie.
I
I had to
bet.
pack up the tent and I had to like yeah, I had to like make my own way and like
Did your
yeah, pack
friend
up
go with you?
tent. JJ no,
Okay.
he did not.
So you went on your own with some random strangers
Yeah.
you'd met at camp out.
He sort of left me at being camper actually, which is kinda sad. I always say this to him, but like, it's not his fault. Like he met other friends and like he
Uh-huh.
was hanging out, having a good time.
Uh-huh.
And I was just being like alone and yeah, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So like yeah, me and my mum like went around a little bit
Uh-huh.
for at vegan camper, and she went back up, and obviously I took the coach down with like other animal rebellion people. I went to their stand actually, and I kind of like met a few of them.
Uh-huh.
Claudia was like the first person I met from, I think, first person I
Uh-huh.
met from Animal Rebellion.
Wow.
Animal Rebellion at the time, obviously now known as Animal Rising.
And was Claudia like
Um,
a big thing at the time, or was she one of the
no, I
grunts?
don't. She was like, she was one of like the admin people, I would say,
Okay, okay,
like
okay.
the people that like kind of like sorted things out, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, she was like still quite like high up and like popular, but
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I met with her, and then I left my bag in their truck. I remember, and I was just like, shit. I was such a mess, not gonna lie. But
Uh-huh.
then, after Vegan Campo ended, um, like had a good time. But it was quite lonely, not gonna lie. I took the coach down with them. And I remember like seeing, I'm meeting like other people. For example, Claire. Yeah, she's really good. She's really cool. Like I've done like multiple actions with them.
So
I went down to London.
how many
Yeah,
people
sorry.
are on this coach?
Um, I don't know, like 15, 20.
Okay,
Like
okay.
it's been a while. Like yeah, I'm not really too sure, but
But it's not empty, basically.
yeah, it's not empty. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's like the main animal rebellion people at the time.
Uh-huh.
A lot has changed from then. Yeah.
And what was this action? Then what was the 2 week action?
2 weeks. It was like more of an XR thing, but obviously Animal Rebellion, like AXR was like tagging along.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it was just like I don't know, like occupying like banks that invest in fossil fuels or like doing demonstrations, blocking roads, like making noise, like lots of flags and signs, that
Uh-huh.
kind of stuff, like marches through London. Um, yeah, I think it was just um, like I don't know if people have heard of like the previous like XR actions they got big from like doing this kind of stuff. So it was like another one of like those kind of
Mhm.
like
It was when
protests.
Animal Rebellion was still collaborating with Extinction Rebellion, right? Like they,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
before
Um,
the sort of major split.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, so we went there and we like camped there for like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Um, and we were like doing all the stuff. We like had our own food tents, and we were like we got donations from like I don't actually know the logistics to be fair, but like it was really impressive. Not gonna lie, like
Uh-huh.
we had like a sort of like mini community, like just camping outside, and we had like portaloos and stuff.
And was it legal camping? Was it a legal occupation or was it?
I'm not too sure actually. I think we did get permission.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
So you
Um,
were just there basically having a little holiday outside some banks. Um,
Basically,
okay,
not outside some banks. This was like like a random park, and we would like
okay.
travel like
Uh-huh.
into like different parts
Uh-huh.
that were um like useful to target.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, we would get like I remember like some of the food wasn't vegan. It had like milk or something in it, and then I would just like put up signs and shit, like not your mum, not your milk, and shit like that. And then like Claudia would try like pull me back and be like, "Cat,
You're making
like just
enemies.
chill." Yeah, yeah. I was just not happy with like because like what I understood was that we
Uh-huh.
agreed that like the food and the cooking and everything was gonna be all vegan,
Mhm.
and we're gonna have this like coexistence like XR youth and then like AR
Mhm.
Animal Rebellion. Um, yeah. So,
They didn't
but
keep up
then
their hold of the bargain.
sorry.
They didn't keep up their end of the bargain.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't think there was like I don't know. I don't know.
So,
That well,
uh-huh.
yeah.
So how presumably at the end of these 2 weeks you just went home. That you didn't get arrested or anything.
No, I did.
Oh, you
That was
did.
my first arrest. Yeah, in
Okay.
like a McDonald's. I was about to just go on to that.
Okay.
So
Okay. Sorry. Continue.
like yeah, regardless of that food situation, yeah, we went to this McDonald's in was it Trafalgar Square? I can't remember. It was one of the like big squares. Anyways,
The one with Nelson's column.
I can't actually remember. It will come back to me. It's like in the Animal Rising page, like Instagram page. Like if you scroll all the way back down, back
Uh-huh.
to like 2021,
Uh-huh.
it should be there. But anyways, we went into this McDonald's and we actually like cost them like thousands of pounds, I think,
Mhm.
because of the like time we spent there. So it was meant to be like a mixed sleepover. Like we were going to occupy their demand plant-based food system and like justice, and obviously like the workers and shit like that. So we actually had gifts to give to the workers. Um,
Okay.
I don't actually know what they were, but I think they were like little AR charms or something. um, but yeah, and then we had like board games and like we had their jammies and stuff because we were planning to like stay there and like have fun time.
Uh-huh.
We like envision our like plant based future by like bringing our own like plant based lunch and stuff. And yeah, we were gonna just have like a good time. It was more of like a performative action,
Mhm.
and hopefully like press would pick up on it.
Mhm.
Um, But yeah, and then yeah, while we were doing that, and then sometime into the night, like police just came and swept us all up without like really warning us.
Okay.
Like so we didn't get charged for that one, or like prosecuted. But that was like really scary because like we did have a brief before,
Uh-huh.
and they said, oh, like you would get like a 5-stage or like 4-stage warning or something, like a warning beforehand you got arrested,
Okay.
but we didn't. And I just got swept up, and I was just like in my mind, my mind was racing. I was just like, oh, what's gonna happen to me? Is my future like doomed?
Is
And
this is this your first time being
yeah,
arrested?
yeah, this was my first time, yeah. So like I was really really scared,
And
and I was crying.
are you alone, or do you at least have a friend? Like, are you?
Yeah. Well, obviously, like there were other people that were arrested with me, so
Uh-huh.
we were like all in the same kind of boat. And I remember when I was getting checked in at the custody suite, like the custody desk, when they ask you questions and stuff, I could see like in another desk, like opposite from me,
Mhm.
like there was uh
One of your other
like
people.
James, yeah, James Skeet,
Uh-huh.
if you know who that is.
I don't.
Like he was like, "Are you okay?" And
Uh-huh.
he's like trying to give me like hand signals, and I was just like, "Yeah, thanks." But yeah, it was scary. I was in tears. I actually accidentally ate like a vegan, like a non-vegan like biscuit as well because I was just so sad. Like I did say like I was vegan to the custody uh, sergeant,
Uh-huh.
and then I think they came in, gave me a biscuit, and I was just like so sad. I didn't really check,
Yeah.
and then I took a bite and I checked, and then I was like kind of showing it to him, and he's like shit, and he just takes it away, and I'm like fuck's sakes. This, but yeah, like the times after that, I was like fine. I think I was just wasn't really mentally prepared for that one, and it was my first time. Obviously, a first time for everything can be like scary.
Uh-huh. 100%.
But like the times after that, like I actually got arrested on my birthday
What?
for blocking dairy trucks.
Before we jump into that, most
Yeah,
people listening
sure.
to this won't have been arrested, right?
Yeah.
So what is the process of being arrested? So they take you in, they bundle you into a van, presumably. They take you to a police
Yeah.
station.
There's a
They
lot.
they interview you, right?
Well,
And
they
then what
don't.
happens?
Um. Well, they don't interview you at the custody desk.
Okay.
They might interview you after. Like you might get waken up in the middle of the night. Like that's a really annoying thing.
Hmm.
Sometimes that they do, and they might chuck you out in the middle of the night as well. Which is,
So they
but
are you thrown in like a communal room? Are you on your own? Are you?
no, you're on your own. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
how
there's a
long were you?
lot of like misconceptions and stuff, and there's a lot to it because there's a lot of things that people don't expect.
Uh huh.
And obviously we get briefed before this and stuff. Yeah, what were you gonna ask?
How long were you kept in a room on your own?
Yeah, so I was about to say like they can only keep you for like under 24 hours, I think,
Uh huh.
when you're like booked in,
Uh huh.
unless they have reason to like hold you.
Hmm.
So I think I was kept in for like my first time, like not too long. But I can't really remember. The longest I've been kept is 48 hours, I think. That was for like MBR
Uh huh.
acres, like for rescuing the beagles.
Uh huh.
Or like yeah, distraction.
We'll get on to that.
Um,
I love you.
yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot. I've been arrested 17 times, so obviously each of those times has like a long story to them.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think this because this is the first one. I want to just make sure we give it. Because most people haven't been arrested. So
yeah,
like,
sure.
what? So at the end of that, like, however long period, like, did you get released into London? And how long of the 2 weeks was left? Like, did you get
Yeah.
arrested like halfway through, or like at the end, or when?
I think it was like just like in the middle of the first week.
Uh huh.
And like yeah, you just get either released the same day or the day after, usually.
Uh huh.
Anyways, and obviously when you get released, there's like police station support outside.
Uh huh.
But since it's my first time, I don't really remember if there was. But I think every time I've been out, there has been.
Uh huh.
Um, yeah, there has been like very friendly people waiting outside,
Uh huh.
like people that are supportive of the cause,
Uh huh.
or yeah, fellow XR members or like AR members.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was gonna go through like the whole arrest process, but that might take some time.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think we need to do that. That
Okay,
might take
okay,
a long
sure.
time. So, like, did you go straight back to camp then? Like, did you go back to camp for another week?
Yeah, I just went straight back to camp. Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
I just like met up with everyone, like hugged Claire, and then like I made like two main friends there. I
Uh-huh.
met Louis,
Mhm.
which is like I don't know if you know like the JSO person that locked himself into like the goalposts.
I don't. Oh, I do
Um,
actually. I've seen a picture of that
yeah,
guy. Yeah.
yeah. So I met Louis there,
Okay.
and then I met Claire, which is another wonderful activist.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, there's probably like many other people that I met that are amazing. Just not really talk to them, but yeah, it was a good community and it was good vibes, and the food was like good as well.
Mhm. So, how long did you get arrested again at that action, or did you just spend another week doing protests and
Um,
then go home?
so yeah, I joined in with like with other actions as well,
Uh-huh.
like they had like this giant pink table, I think,
Oh, I saw
at
that.
one of the main junctions in London. I can't remember what junction it was. They had people locked onto it, and they had like a lot of people like that marched up to it, and they had like speeches there.
Mhm.
And I think the table was like to try get like leaders to like sit down at the table and talk about the climate crisis. I think that's what it was signifying.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I didn't get arrested at that. I just left when like there was like a lot of police that came and like police liaison officers that like have the baby blue bibs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just don't talk to them. They're there to like try gather information from you.
Uh-huh.
They're playing this nice like friendly. Like obviously like some of them are friendly, but their
Yeah.
job is to mainly to gather intelligence from protesters. Yeah, and then I went back to camp from that, and then there was this other action that was on my birthday.
Uh-huh.
Um, that was like kind of like it was like, everything was like in like on the down low, and I remember like being added to like these like signal groups, and it
Uh-huh.
was very like hush hush and secretive,
Uh-huh.
and we would call them like spicy actions because you would get arrested, and it was like yeah, I don't know, like very like yeah, I don't really know. Like spicy just means like chance of arrest.
Yeah. Riskier,
And
right?
hmm?
Riskier.
Yeah, yeah, risky like spicy. Yeah, and we went to like we took a coach all the way to Arla, like this Arla um factory,
Mhm.
and we blocked dairy trucks. And it was on my birthday
Uh-huh.
as well, which is so funny. I kept saying that to everyone, and I was really happy at the time as well, because I was doing something that was meaningful
Yeah.
and some like a cause that I believed in
Uh-huh.
on my birthday. So I was just really happy. I was just singing like um this like this. I think I was singing this song by uh Studio Killers called like Birthday or something.
Uh-huh.
I can probably find it, but um yeah, that time when I got arrested, I was like very easy. I was just like, yeah, it's chill. Took a shower and everything, and I
Wow,
was just
okay.
like, yeah. They give you like new clothes as well sometimes.
Were they
Uh,
fetching?
were they what?
Were they fetching?
What do you mean fetching?
That fetching is like a word you would say that means someone's dressed nice.
They're all grey, so I don't know about
Did you get
that,
to keep them?
but yeah, you get to keep them.
Okay.
Sometimes, some stations are really stingy and they take it from you, and
Uh-huh.
some stations only give it when your clothes are like really dirty or like drenched or something.
Uh-huh.
Um,
How many?
but
How
yeah,
many? How many police robes do you own?
um, a lot, yeah, definitely. Well, I've been arrested 17 times,
Uh-huh.
and I've almost got like what we call them like prison greys or like
Uh-huh.
obviously they're not prison greys, but like we call them like cell shit. What do we actually call them? Um,
Scrubs. Are they like scrubs?
they're not like scrubs. No, they're
Okay.
like thick and they're grey. Obviously, it'll come back to me.
Boiler
But
suits?
no, no, not viruses. I don't know, like uh, yeah, I don't know. We would call them something funny. But yeah, I've got. I think I've only been not offered them like once or twice.
Uh-huh.
So I've got like a few pairs. Yeah, like 10+ pairs.
Wow, okay.
And like I usually like print on them, like block print, like
Uh-huh.
Animal Rising or Animal Rebellion stuff.
That's very cool. So at this point, what's this dairy one? Is this your fourth arrest, fifth arrest, 10th arrest? Where are we?
Um, okay, so my first is the McDonald's, and
Uh-huh.
then my second is the dairy,
Oh, okay.
the trucks, yeah. And
And
then there was
so
an action.
by number
Yeah,
two,
sorry.
you're feeling great, right? By number two,
Yeah,
you're a
by number two,
completely new
I'm
person.
like, I'm fine with this, and I'm just like coming to terms and I'm accepting it. I'm like,
You're a
yeah.
hardened criminal.
Exactly. I'm just like, I'd rather sacrifice like my liberty and shit for the animals, and like,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of sad. Like I've got a criminal record. Well, I've got multiple.
Yeah.
And I can't obviously like visit like Japan and shit like that. But to me, it's like, worth it.
Yeah.
Like justice for all over like holidays.
Yeah, right.
But
It's
yeah,
meaningful, right? Like I've been around
yeah,
Japan for 6 weeks. It was, it was pretty good, but it's not the same meaning that I get from doing activism, right? And
yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah,
um, also
yeah. No,
being
I
vegan in Japan is really hard.
really. Oh.
'Cause everything's fish, right? Everything's
Yeah, fair enough.
ah,
I would think it's quite like progressive and like
maybe,
I don't
maybe, maybe.
know. I'm not being, so I don't know. I don't know anything.
So, so like you've been arrested 17 times. You've been doing activism like how often are we talking here? Are we talking like once every 2 months? Are we talking like what
Um,
period of time have you been doing these actions?
um. So I remember back in 2022, that was the year that I had the most arrests. Like I don't know,
Mhm,
like a lot. Like I went on a slaughterhouse truck. I, um, yeah, done like TNS rabbits. I done MBR
mhm.
like twice or 3 times.
Wow.
I don't know. And then the dairy campaign, I got like 3 arrests from that as well.
Mhm,
And then there was like the Derby, and then there was like the Jubilee.
mhm,
So I was doing a lot that year, and then after that I was just like, yeah, I need to like really mentally process this and probably take a break. Like I was feeling quite burnt out after that, but I felt like in like deep down I really wanted to do more because it's just like it makes me feel alive and it makes me like because I'm very passionate about this
mhm.
and
Do you
yeah, I just want to keep doing it and do it every opportunity I get. But yeah.
do you feel like because you're willing to do it, there's an obligation for you to do it, since other people are less willing to do it?
Yeah, sort of. Um,
Because you're
yeah,
like
it's like
great.
if I don't do it, like who else? I mean, if there's somebody else does it, then that's fine.
Mhm.
But
But if nobody's doing it, then it's better that
yeah,
you do it, right?
I feel guilty if that happens.
Oh, well,
But
I don't think you should feel guilty, but I understand why you do feel guilty.
mm,
I think it's not the same, but weekends I don't do activism. I feel awful because I could,
yeah,
you know. Um, so presumably there's a lot of legal stuff when it comes to being arrested, right? And especially when you actually sort of the charges aren't dropped. Um, I want to talk about MBR though as well. Let's talk about MBR first. So
okay,
MBR
sure.
is wild, right? Like you did it twice. I think it was 4 dogs the first time and 11 the second. Is that?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Um, how did you get in on that? Like, were you just trusted? Like, were you just because you've been doing so
Um,
much, you were trusted to be in on it?
I think so. Yeah, I think I was just doing a lot, and l- yeah, looking back, I feel quite privileged to be and like humbled to be like invited to something of that magnitude.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I just got a text by. I think it's fine if I don't talk too much about
Uh-huh.
it. It's just I'm just saying it's signal messages.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah.
you got a signal message and it said like, do you want to do something super spicy, presumably? Um,
Mm, yeah, I think it was. I heard that they were like occupying it first,
Uh-huh.
or like going in, setting up tripods, which are like the bamboo structures that they used to do.
The blockade things, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
setting up tripods to like block like police cars or something, and then getting the dogs out. But that didn't happen first time. We just went and sat there and like occupied it.
Okay.
We still bunch of us still got arrested.
So the first
Yeah.
one was just an occupation.
Yeah, well, it wasn't originally, but yeah, it turned out to be. And then the second one, like I was like a front gate distraction almost.
Okay.
So we were literally like physically blocking the front gates,
Mhm.
and then other people. I wasn't in directly part of the liberation team for that action.
Mhm.
I was just like in front of the gates, stopping like police from coming in, and like distracting security, with other amazing activists.
And then the third one.
So yeah,
Sorry, go on.
yeah. So what were you saying? No,
Uh,
I was.
I was gonna say, and then the third one, you were involved in.
Yeah, yeah. And when we came back, well, it was like the third like arrest for me, but it was like the second time that AR went back. If that makes sense, or
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So you got arrested the second time as well.
Yeah. I got arrested first time when we sat down inside.
Okay.
Got arrested when I was distracting in
Uh-huh.
front of the gates. This was like nighttime.
Uh-huh.
And then the third time, yeah, obviously got arrested. Well, actually, I could have
You could have got away with it.
I could have had like an uncountability thing
Uh-huh.
going, but like our plan was to like be accountable
Mhm.
and like go back to the site, hand ourselves in, say that we've done this,
Mhm.
and because it's wrong,
Mhm.
and be like open about it.
Mhm. The charges are dropped with that one, right? Because you did
Yeah,
that.
yeah. For that one, that was quite um that was quite good. I felt really invincible after that. I was just like, I can do fucking anything.
Yeah. So what was your job on the liberating puppies? Like, were you cutting a fence? Were you going in? What did you do?
Yeah, we were like entry team.
Be.
Yeah, I don't know if I should say that.
That's okay.
Suicides. I don't know. It should be fine. It should be fine. Like no, like I don't think it's too much. Maybe they'd like be more aware next time when we.
Yeah, I will. I'll edit out some stuff. I just want to know if you like literally carried a dog out, right? If
Yeah, I did. I did. And like the most memorable thing of that was going in there. And it was like very warm,
Mhm.
and everything happened so fast because all this adrenaline is pumping and like everything's happening so fast. We go in and it's like bright lights in the shed. It's like quite dark at this point. It's like nighttime, I think,
Mhm.
or early morning. I can't really remember. Um, and it was like filled with feces. Not
Wait.
Yeah, it was like just like beige walls, and it was very warm and like just smelling of like feces. The kennel's not very clean.
Mhm.
I remember Nathan like just like handing me a dog, just putting it in my back,
Oh.
and I'm just like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna like I'm just like bolting out of there, and I'm just like running like back and forth in this establishment for ages because there's like security blocking the exits, that the entry points that we came in, and then I'm
I
just
have
like,
a
what
weird
the fuck?
question.
Yeah?
Did you grow up in a house with dogs?
No.
Had you at any point up until this point picked up a dog? Had you ever carried a dog before?
Yeah.
Oh, you had. Okay.
Well, maybe not. I've like been in contact with dogs, and
Yeah.
I think I find them cute and stuff, and obviously, um, but no, I don't think I've been like this like close to a dog. I don't think. But anyways, I'm just running like back and forth, and then and then I remember Lou saying like at this point we're just like concrete, like a bunch of us are at this fence, and then like Lou's. Everyone's getting like really emotional. I think someone was sick as well, like one of the activists.
Yeah.
But yeah, I respect everyone that day. To be fair, it was like really hectic and really, really like good. In a sense, like I very like do not regret that at all. And I remember like Lou just saying like, "Cat, just go." And like after I asked her like, "Why would you like pick me?" And then she was like, "Oh well, you're like athletic and like tall and stuff." And I was just like, "Oh, thanks." So like I remember like yeah, like Alan giving me like a foot up, like I stepped on his hands, and he just like lifted me up over the fence, and then I think my earpiece got snagged or like a clothing got snagged, and I was just like, shit, oh shit, is that like, I hope the dog's okay, hope the dog's not like snagged anything. And yeah, it was just my earpiece or something. Like yeah, and I remember like Lou just being like, just please, like to security, like, please let us go. And I managed to get over. I think they were quite like, I don't know, they weren't like, they could have like really stopped us if they tried, but I think they were very nonchalant about it. Yeah, so I got over, like it's just mud, go through like this like pond, like a small like stream or something. I'm just like, my shoes are soaking and it's like muddy. Like I've still got the shoes to this day, and I still remember why they're so fucked up. It's because I rescued these beagles in my Fila shoes.
Oh.
Um, and yeah, I just run with Rose and Ben, and then like I remember like Rose being like stopped by the police, like those police following her. And as I was carrying the dog, like the dog was just like sniffing my earpiece, and I was just like, oh, so cute. Like
Oh.
I just, yeah, and I just really wish that like I could like play with these dogs again, or like just visit them. But you know, obviously for the safety of the dogs, I can't know where they are, and I can't, yeah, just can't, because it's for their own safety. Because like obviously if the police like knew, then they would like take them back. Um,
Every dog, every beagle you ever meet, you just have to know that there's a possibility, right? If you're a
yeah,
rescued
yeah,
beagle.
exactly. That's quite emotional in a sense, because yeah, I'll never see that dog again. And, you know,
No.
even though I like saved them from that breeding facility.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I just like, we were just waiting, like we ran like for 20 minutes, I think, and I was just like, yeah, and these soaking shoes, and then we like hid, and then we got to this neighborhood, and there was like these fences, and then I think there was like, we were just hiding behind like any sort of light or like noise. We would be like kind of wary of, because obviously it was like police sirens and shit, and like there were probably like security, and the police were trying to probably look for us. I think there was this dog walker. It was like really early in the morning, I think, and then he stumbled onto us, and he like saw us. Like we were just literally like crouching down. It must have been so sus. We had like 4 dogs with 3 people, and I think Lou was carrying 2, or Ben was carrying 2. I don't know, but and then like one of them didn't have a bag, and it was just like we had these like doggy bags to like, yeah, carry them in, and yeah, and like this guy just comes up. He's like, you know, I really support what you did, but like just not like this, like, you know, I don't like the way you're doing it. And then Ben just like, we're just, you know, we're just like trying to rescue these dogs. Please just like leave us alone. Like please, we're just like begging. Well, he was begging. But like, yeah, obviously internally, I was just like, please, like, just don't, just don't do anything. Just don't call police.
That's
And then
wild that the guy with a dog would say that to you, right?
exactly right.
Right.
I was like, yeah, you know, I would love I love my dog, and I hate if anything happened to my dog.
Yeah.
So I just don't agree with the way it's like. And like after all this, we were just like talking about this and roasting him, because he had a dog himself. But anyways, regardless, he walked away. The car came. We handed our dogs over. They were like masked, so I didn't know, but I was actually handing it to Michelle, and yeah, we just closed the door. We're just like, fuck yes. It was like at end of a GTA mission, like when you just like completed it, and you're just like, fuck yes. But even though like that car could have got stopped, obviously it didn't. Like no cars got stopped, only like Rose did with 2 dogs, I think. But yeah, it was just like mission completed. Like I just closed the door, and then we just like walked back slowly to the site to hand ourselves in.
Did you want to hand yourself in, or were you like?
Um, I don't like at that point. I was very like comfortable with being arrested, and I was just like I didn't really mind. But I think it was more of a stance and like a message, and like there was other people doing the same, so I wanted to be like with them as well and show solidarity.
Also,
But
presumably
yeah,
it's a
we just
worse crime if you like evade arrest, right? Like it's.
yeah, probably. I'm not sure. I'm not like a
Mm,
legal expert or
well,
anything.
it's fine.
Yeah, we went back to the gate and we just like we had ladders and I remember like they were just trying to like take away like shit that we had, like take away ladders or something or like yeah, I don't know. Like we were trying to like jam the gate and shit and they would just like try to take it off and
Uh-huh.
well maybe like mainly me, I was just like a little bit bored because we had time to kill
Uh-huh.
and we were just waiting for them to like arrest us.
Fair.
Um and yeah, because it's the arrest process is really slow. They either like there's a lot of waiting involved. You either wait in the van or wait at the station or wait like on site, and it's like one by one. They need to like pat you down sometimes, so they're like patting us all down like one by one, like giving us full body searches.
Mhm.
And obviously, because I'm like a girl, like, and for every other like female activist, they had like they needed to get like female officers
Yeah.
to search them. So yeah, like all of that like takes time.
Mhm.
So we were just like we had a ladder put against the gate, and we just like climbed up on it, and we just like some of us were just like chilling there, and I remember my feet were fucking freezing, like
Yeah.
from all the moisture. From it was like a cold morning, and I was just like I was really uncomfortable. And I had we got news that like
Mhm.
the two of the beagles stopped like the police when the police stopped Rose, like two of the beagles were like taken, like confiscated, or yeah, just like taken. And I was like very like head on with like trying to like bargain it, like I'm only coming down if like you hand over the beagles, but I don't think that would ever happen.
Mhm.
Obviously they were gonna like the police are just gonna keep them and send them back or whatever. Um, 'cause it's like they protect that establishment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They protect
yeah,
companies basically
yeah,
from
exactly. So
people.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, so it was never gonna like work out. We were never gonna bargain those dogs.
So
Um,
so you've done this. This is this. You've literally come away from this feeling like a actual superhero, right? Um, like how what is Cat's life like at the minute? Like you presumably you have now a lot of vegan friends, um, and you are doing actions every. This is the most actions you've ever done at this point in your life, like close together. Like, are you at this point mostly interacting with like vegans? Like, are you going to like vegan social events as well, or are you just doing activism?
um, yeah. I mainly have vegan friends, and I only interact with vegans usually. Um, yeah, at this point, I just can't really be bothered with people that are closed-minded and like not open-minded to like consider
Hmm.
the animals and like veganism and stuff like that
Hmm.
causes. Um, but yeah, like going to socials. Yeah, I went to a lot of socials during when I was like doing a lot of activism, and I think it's good to like take a break from things sometimes and like settle down and like have a good time yourself, because obviously like if you're in like a good mental state you can do better for the animals.
Hmm.
um but yeah, I've spent like multiple like Christmases with my vegan friends, including you actually.
Including me, yeah.
Yeah. um and yeah, just
You did plant-based universities as well, right?
yeah, only for a little bit. It didn't really work out at my uni because a lot of us were like really busy with like final year projects.
Uh-huh. But you get to go to the like animal rising camp if you do that, right?
Yeah, so yeah, it's like the PBU camp is
Uh huh.
like obviously like a subset of Animal Rising,
Uh huh.
and yeah, it's a lot. It's very chill. It's like there's a lot of workshops actually, which is the thing. But yeah, it's to prepare you to like be informed about organizing these campaigns at your yeah locally at your uni. Um, yeah, and there's like cooking and there's like campfires and like communal cooking. It's very like community driven. But yeah, I usually like sometimes travel down to England for activism for like to meet with friends. Like mainly for activism. I wouldn't travel down all the way just to like socialize, but um I would travel down for activism and if there's any like socials happening on that time I'd go to them. Um but yeah, it's nice to like see like fellow activists and vegans from time to time down in England. And yeah, yeah, obviously these camps are in England as well, so
Mhm.
I spend like a bunch of time just like traveling. I'm kind of like sick of it at this point,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just want to stick with like local activism
Uh huh.
at the minute, anyways.
It is a lot
Obviously,
traveling constantly, especially
yeah,
if you're doing
exactly.
it on the cheap on like coaches.
Yeah, I used to take coaches all the time, and I used to be so like strong and just like confident, and I was like, yeah, you know what, like 12 hours, no biggie. But now, yeah, 12 hours overnight, like it's nothing. And but now I'm just get sick of it so easily. I'm just like,
100%.
get me off this. But yeah, I'm sticking with like sabbing stuff. Even though I've not went out in the field for a while,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, like sabbing, like local activism stuff. It's like a lot of socials happening sometimes.
So
But yeah.
usually at this point, like we sort of talk about like the future. Like we've like the amount that we could talk about your past is ridiculous, and I feel like we need to do another one just to cover all the stuff we haven't covered because you are
Yeah, I'm
actually
down for
amazing.
that.
Like you are actually
Oh,
amazing.
thank you. You
Um,
too.
um,
Appreciate everyone. Yes, a wonderful activist.
yeah, but
Lots of love and solidarity.
but like what are you looking for? Because you're just finishing uni, right? Like
Yeah.
you're now sort of looking for a career. You have a lot of experience of doing, direct action, and a few other things. And I think you deserve a job somewhere that appreciates you. And maybe if you went somewhere slightly more central to the UK, you might travel a bit easier. But like, what
Mhm.
is the dream? Like, what do you want to do? Like, are you going to keep
Yeah.
getting arrested until
It's
like they actually slam you in jail, or are we not? Are we going to stop doing that and maybe get someone else to be arrested
maybe,
instead?
maybe. Who knows? Everything's a possibility right now. My life's in quite a limbo.
Uh-huh.
I'm just waiting for results until I graduate.
Uh-huh.
Um, and uh, yeah, like I could go into like a more, like I could go into my computing route,
Hmm.
because I study computing. And like do activism on the side. I'm not sure, or mainly do activism, or become like a vegan streamer, vegan content creator.
Hmm.
Yeah, or get a job at like like Pizza UK, or any of these like organizations. I would love to actually, or like Plant Based Treaty or something.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's quite limitless at the moment, and I'm still deciding. It's very obviously if there's a big thing coming out, like a big action, like I'm definitely down to do it.
Uh-huh.
It's just yeah, I'm just quite in a weird position at the moment, just like figuring things out.
I heard you're speaking at NARM, not NARD, the bigger one, the one in London. Is that a thing?
Um, maybe I
Maybe.
did sort of say that I'm not in like the best mental state at the moment, but
Uh-huh.
like after some time and healing, I might. Yeah, it's quite frightening as well because it's like a big thing, and I don't want to mess it up. But I think it'll be good for my public speaking and confidence.
Yeah, and I think I think you do great, right? Like I appreciate that. I think
Thank you.
Mel, what's his last name? Mel Mel Barr.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He was doing it last year, right? And you don't quite
Yeah.
have the same experience as him. Um,
Uh-huh.
but like we
Yeah.
need new blood, right? We need young
Mm.
people to inspire people,
Oh.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and as much as it is inspiring to see, older generation who spent, 7 years in prison or whatever, like I think we do also need young people who are showing that activism didn't just happen 40 years ago,
Mhm.
and it happens today. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. It's been ever going.
yeah. So usually at the end, I say really nice things about people, and you really, really, really are like sort of the cake for the people that I wanted to do this for. Like,
Oh.
honestly, you are one of the biggest inspirations to me that there are. Like, when I first heard about you, I heard about you from Evelina, my flatmate at the time, sort of prior to being my flatmate actually. And she was like, "Oh, there's this really cool girl. She keeps getting arrested. She's really cool. She's like done, beagle liberations and dairy like blocking and all these other cool things." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool." And she's like, "Oh, and she's trans." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah. She's been arrested loads of times, and she's only in her
Oh.
20s." And I'm like, "No, that's not real. Like you're lying. This must be a mythical creature." And then I met
Oh.
you on the internet, and you were just a really genuine, wonderful person. And I was sort of in my formative
Yeah.
years as an activist and as a trans girl, and I didn't really have role models that were both trans and vegan, and definitely not trans and vegan and an activist. So you sort of became that role model. And I really sort of hoped one day that I could be someone who was as cool as you. And I'm still trying. I'm not there yet. Um,
Oh.
but like seriously, you have been a massive inspiration to me. And I really want you to have a bigger platform and have uh, more people know about you because you are inspiring and you're amazing and it's
Oh.
it's
Yeah. That.
go on.
Yeah. No. Continue.
Continue. And I it makes me want
Continue.
to do more.
Continue glazing me. No, I'm just.
I will. Like you make me want to do more. Right? You actually make me feel like I'm not doing enough. Which
Oh no.
no,
Everyone's
in a
doing
good
their
way.
part.
In a good way,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, that's good.
It doesn't
Yeah.
seem fair that
That
you've been
really.
arrested 17 times and
Yeah.
I've never been arrested, right? Like
Mm.
it makes me feel like,
Some people can. It's
well,
understandable,
I'm not that
but.
person. I have privilege. I should be getting arrested, right? It
Hmm.
should be something I do. And I
I
will.
mean,
Like you have inspired me. I'm
yeah.
gonna go do that. So
That's really kind of you to say, and it's really nice. It's very heartfelt and emotion. Yeah, I'm just, I'm lost for words, but it's yeah. I really appreciate that. That's how it's got you feeling. Like I really want more people doing the same kind of things if they can, if they have the privilege to do so. Because it's very important and it's very effective activism, like in gaining press and like directly disrupting these supply chains. But I'm just like a normal person, as you said, like genuine, and I'm just like yeah, you met me on the internet, and I'm just like a normal person, just like anyone else. Um, and yeah, I don't want anyone to like obviously idolize. Like I think idolizing people is wrong, like it's kind of bad in the first place. Obviously I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying I'd rather people get inspired and take the pros
Mhm.
that I'm doing, and I take like a lot of like pros from like previous like activists throughout history, like MLK, and like obviously a bit more controversial Gandhi. Obviously quite it's got a lot of cons. But obviously take the pros from like these like great yeah like great people throughout history and like learn from them and like use that to inspire activism,
Yeah.
inspire what you do and try change the world bit by bit. Yeah, and I'm really happy to I'm really yeah really touched to hear your kind words, so thank you.
well, thank you ever so much for being on, and I love you very much, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Love you too. Thanks for having me.